Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Councillor Janet Johnson. I'm the current Mayor of St Helens Borough Council. Welcome to our annual council meeting, which has had to be postponed in May this year due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Since the new temporary regulations were introduced that allow members to participate in and vote at meetings remotely, the council has been operating virtual meetings. I would like to welcome the Lord Lieutenant, the High Sheriff, all aldermen, freemen and partners, stakeholders, officers, members of the public and press who are observing remotely. I would be grateful if members would remember to follow the rules for virtual meetings etiquette. When you wish to speak, please indicate on the chat facility. When you are asked to speak by the Mayor, switch on your camera and unmute. Then remember to switch off your camera and mute when you are finished speaking to save our bandwidth and reduce background noise. I will now ask Joanne to invite each of you alphabetically in turn to switch on your camera and unmute to introduce yourselves so that we can record your attendance.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I'm going to go through like a register now, individually in alphabetical order. If some members have not managed to get online, it will be a pause and I will move to the next member. So we'll start with Councillor Baines.
Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm Councillor David Baines. I'm the leader of St Helens Borough Council and ward member for Windle.
Thank you. Now Councillor Banks.
Good afternoon, Councillor David Banks, Earlstown Ward.
Thank you. We now have Councillor Bell.
Good afternoon, Councillor Jeannie Bell, Ward Councillor for Newton and Cabinet Member for Safer, Stronger Communities.
Thank you. We now have Councillor Bond.
Good afternoon, I'm Martin Bond, I'm Ward Councillor for Haydock and Cabinet Member for Finance and Governance.
Thank you. Councillor Bowden.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor. I'm Councillor Bowden and I represent the Power Ward and I'm Cabinet Member for the Environment and Transport.
Thank you. Councillor Burns.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Madam Mayor. I'm Councillor Anthony Burns, Ward Member for Haydock and Cabinet Member for Public Health, Leisure, Libraries, Arts and Heritage.
Thank you. We have Councillor Charlton.
Good afternoon, Noble Charlton, Councillor for Thatto Heath and Cabinet Member for Protecting Young People.
Thank you. We have Councillor Clark.
Good afternoon, I'm Councillor Lynn Clark, Ward Member for the Town Centre.
Thank you. Councillor Cunliffe, who is audio only.
Good afternoon, it's Councillor Cunliffe. I'm Councillor for Blackrock Ward.
Thank you. Councillor Fulham.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Do we have Councillor Gill? Councillor Gill may join us later in the meeting. Can I go to Councillor Gomez Aspron?
Good afternoon, I'm Seb Gomez Aspron, elected to represent Newton the Willows and Deputy Leader of St Helens Borough Council.
Thank you. Can we have Councillor Greaves?
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Donna Greaves, Councillor for Rainhill Ward.
Thank you. Now for Councillor Grocott.
Good afternoon. I'm Kate Grokert, Councillor for Parr Ward and Cabinet Member for Education, Business and Skills.
Thank you. We now have Councillor Grunwald.
I'm Barry Granuel, Rainhill Ward Councillor.
Thank you very much. Councillor Hattersley.
I'm Robin Hattersley, Councillor for Thatto Heath Ward.
Thank you. Do we have Councillor Haw?
No.
Councillor Haw may join us later in the meeting. Can we have Councillor Howard?
Good afternoon, I'm Pam Howard, Councillor for Earlstown Ward.
Thank you. We now have Councillor Jimmy Jackson.
Good afternoon, everyone. Jimmy Jackson, Councillor for Sutton.
Thank you. And Councillor Pat Jackson.
Good afternoon, Pat Jackson, Councillor for Sutton.
Thank you. Councillor Jones.
Good afternoon, Councillor Alan Jones, Rainford Ward and leader of the Conservative Party. Thank you.
Councillor Derek Long.
Hello, Councillor Derek Long, representing the West Park Ward.
Thank you. And Councillor Tricia Long.
Hello everybody, Councillor Tricia Long representing Mossbank Ward.
Thank you. Do we have Councillor Lynch?
Yes, John. Hi, Councillor Paul Lynch, Labour Councillor for Mossbank.
Thank you. And now we have Councillor Maloney, MBE.
Hello everybody, I'm Councillor Linda Maloney from Blackroot Ward.
Thank you. Councillor Macaulay.
Thanks, Joanne. Richard Macaulay, Thatto Heath Ward Councillor and Cabinet Member for Regeneration and Planning.
Thank you. Councillor McDonnell.
Councillor Dennis McDonnell, good afternoon to everyone. I represent Billings and Senley Green.
Thank you. We now have Councillor McQuaid.
Good afternoon, everyone. Madam Paul McQuaid, Blackroot Ward.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sue Murphy. I'm the councillor for the Billinge and Senley Green Ward.
Thank you. Councillor Mussell.
Good afternoon, everybody. Linda Mussell, representing the Rainford Ward.
Thank you very much. Councillor O'Keefe.
Councillor O'Keefe, representing the Bold Ward and leader of the Green Group on the council. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor O'Sundico.
Hello everybody, I'm BC O'Sundico and I'm Councillor for Parr.
Thank you. Now I have Councillor Pearl.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Councillor Jeff Pearl, representing Eccleston Ward.
Thank you. Councillor Pearson.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Councillor Joe Pearson and I represent Billinge and Senley Green Ward.
Thank you. We have Councillor Charlie Preston.
Afternoon, Councillor Charlie Preston, Earlstown.
Thank you. And we also have Councillor Lisa Preston.
Good afternoon, Councillor Lisa Preston for Bold Ward.
Thank you. Now for Councillor Pritchard.
Afternoon, Councillor Pritchard, Paul Pritchard, West Park Ward.
Thank you. We have Councillor Quinn.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Marlene Quinn and I represent West Park Ward and I'm Cabinet Member for Health and Social Care.
Thank you. Councillor Reynolds.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rob Reynolds and I represent Rainford Ward.
Thank you. Councillor Sims.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Councillor Teresa Sims from Eccleston. I'm Ward Councillor for Eccleston and also Chairman of Eccleston Parish Council.
Thank you. We have Councillor Smith.
Good afternoon, everyone. Councillor David Smith representing Newton Ward.
Thank you. Councillor Sweeney.
Good afternoon, everybody. Madam Mayor, I'm Councillor Michelle Sweeney for the Town Centre Ward.
Thank you. Councillor Tasker.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Tasker, I represent Rainhill Ward and also the leader of the independent group within St Albans Council.
Thank you very much. Councillor Uddin.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Montia, Councillor for Windle.
Thank you. Councillor Vanderberg.
Good afternoon, all. I'm David Vanderberg, Councillor for Haydock Ward.
Thank you. Councillor Wiseman.
Hello, I am Councillor Wiseman, Ward Councillor for Bald. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll just go back to see whether Councillor Gill or Councillor Haw have managed to join us.
Good afternoon, everybody. Madam Mayor, Councillor Gill representing Town Centre Ward.
Thank you. And do we have Councillor Haw?
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Councillor Michael Haw. I represent the ward of Eccleston.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. That concludes the roll call.
Thank you, everyone, for your attendance. Item 1, the election of the Mayor of the Borough. I call upon Councillor Maloney to propose the election of the Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can I nominate Paul McQuaid to be the elected Mayor of the Borough of St Helens from 2020 to 2021?
So is that seconded?
Apologies. I second the motion and reserve the right to speak.
Sorry about that, everybody. Technical problems. We're back on.
Yes, we're back on. So we're just ready for Councillor Maloney's speech.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Today I feel very proud to nominate Paul McQuaid for the Mayor of this Borough of St Helens. I've known Paul and Lorraine for many years, and I've watched them grow from a young couple to the married couple they are today. I first met Paul and Lorraine back in 1987 when they bought the house next door to me. When they married, they invited me to attend the wedding, and I went on to see proud parents of Curtis, Kane and Chloe. Paul's passion is his family. Like all other families, they've had their trials and tribulations. However, the joy and love that has rang out has been loud and clear over the years. They now have 4 lovely grandchildren. Paul has been an active member of the Labour Party since 1990, and in 2006, after the sad and sudden death of Councillor Al Smith, Paul stood as a Labour Party candidate for Blackbrook. He was born in St Helens, he was raised in Blackbrook, educated in Blackbrook, and still lives within the ward. Paul has another passion beside his family and politics, and that is Sankey Valley Park and Canal. He's been a member of SCARS for 14 years. Some years ago, they received a heritage lottery funding to regenerate the old sletting mill and reset the pathways. It's a beautiful park now with the Rangers building and the lovely seating area from Carmill all the way to Newton Willows. Paul helped to bring that to the people of this borough. If you've not been, it's well worth a visit, and as many of us have done during this pandemic. He has dragged me and his wife Lorraine and many others out to do litter picks in the area. Madam Mayor, over the last 40 years, we have proudly had 4 mayors who have lived in Blackbrook. However, they were not councillors in the ward. So from one Blackbrook councillor to another, I feel proud and privileged to nominate Paul McQuaid for the Mayor of this borough. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Madam Mayor, I think we've lost your video, but can you speak?
Can you hear me, Joanne?
Yes, we can hear you. You're live now. So we've lost your video temporarily. So if you can carry on with the meeting via audio, please.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Councillor Maloney. I have Councillors Baines, Jones and Sims who wish to speak.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to very briefly just wish Paul good luck. I know he cares deeply about St Helens, and Linda's just explained some of the things that he cares deeply about. I know he's going to be a fantastic mayor. These are obviously difficult, strange times, and I know today's not the day that Paul and his family would have wished it would be, but I've no doubt that they're really proud of him, and I know we all are as his colleagues, and I'm sure he'll do a terrific job for the borough. So congratulations, Paul.
Councillor Jones.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I've known Paul for 9 years since I got elected onto the council. We've always got on well together. We've been on committees and whatever together. We've never let our political differences come in the way of friendship. I wish Paul all the best for this period of him being mayor. It's a pity that we're in such circumstances, but I know he will do a good job. So carry on, Paul, get on with it, do it your way. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Councillor Jones. Councillor Sims.
Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. To be mayor of our borough is a really great privilege, and I really do hope that you will get the opportunity to visit groups of schools in person. But if not, then perhaps a Teams call from the Chamber, Mayor's Parlour, basically a virtual tour. Our residents really do appreciate meeting the Mayor and Mayoress. So may I wish you, Paul, and your wife every good wish for a successful year from the Liberal Democrat group. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, Councillor Bowden would like to speak.
Councillor Bowden.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It is a great honour and a privilege to second the election of Councillor McQuaid as the Mayor of the Borough of St Helens. Paul is and has been a hard-working and dedicated councillor in his role representing the residents of Blackbrook Ward, and I am more than happy to echo all that Councillor Maloney said in her nomination of Paul for the role. In particular, I would like to mention the sad loss of our former colleague Al Smith, which presented at the time when Paul came on council. Paul is passionate about our borough and its history, in particular its industrial past. His work with SCARS is testament to this. And I recall learning much of the history of St Helens Town Hall and the borough when I was fortunate enough to be in the role Paul is now to undertake. Paul's knowledge was of great help to me in explaining our rich history. So I know when circumstances finally allow it, and visitors can once again be accepted into our town hall to meet the Mayor, Paul will represent, as he will on all occasions, this borough with a great sense of history, of knowledge and of pride in the borough he represents. And finally, Madam Mayor, I have sat many times in the council chamber to acknowledge and thank many individual senior officers for their contribution to the work of our council and this borough and to all this borough. But today marks a welcome change in being able to speak today to praise and congratulate one of our former doormen, just one of the many individuals from doorkeepers to cleaners who keep our buildings running, and who in Paul now has the honour of being elected our Mayor and first citizen. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Bowden. Joanne, has anybody else indicated they wish to speak?
No, Madam Mayor, but if you want to ask the question now and see if anybody else would like to.
Would anybody else wish to speak? We'll carry on then. It has been moved and seconded that Councillor Paul McQuaid be elected as Mayor of the Borough. Will all those in favour please say?
Aye.
Agreed.
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 Any against? Any abstentions? I declare that Councillor Paul McQuaid is elected Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We will now make the declaration of acceptance of office. I, Councillor Paul McQuaid.
I, Councillor Paul McQuaid.
Having been elected to the office of Mayor.
Having been elected to the office of Mayor.
Of the Metropolitan Borough of St Helens.
Of the Metropolitan Borough of St Helens.
Declare that I take that office upon myself.
Declare that I take this office upon myself.
And will duly and faithfully.
And will duly and faithfully.
Fulfil the duties of it.
Fulfil the duties of it.
According to the best of my judgment and ability.
According to the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I will now follow this with a short speech which I've prepared. So thank you very much for everybody coming today. And I have to say that I'm both humbled and honoured to become Mayor of St Helens. I've lived in St Helens all my life, spending my formative years in Blackbrook, being raised by my hard-working parents and later moving to Airdop, where I still live today. Who would have thought that this scallywag of a lad would be standing here today, having been given the honour of representing my own town as Mayor? Of course, I've had lots of unwavering support on the way and could not possibly mention everybody. I would need at least a week to do that. However, I must mention Linda and Andy, who provided mentorship, help and support during my early years as councillor for Blackbrook, and continues to assist me whenever it is needed. My wife Lorraine, who will be the Mayoress, she will be by my side as always and will provide me with her constant encouragement to be the best that I can be. My mum Irene, who I admire so much for her get up and go attitude to life, and my dad Frank, who passed away 7 years ago. He was a family man through and through. He worked hard all his life to support his family and gave great love to us all. It is his standard towards work, family and respect for others that I have and will continue to uphold. Our town has a long history. We have much to be proud of. It has grown over hundreds of years from its humble beginnings that were a collection of houses to a village to a town. It's played significant part in the Industrial Revolution, quickly developing itself as a significant centre for coal mining, locomotive manufacturing and glass making. Of course, I'm duty bound to mention our rugby league team, the Saints, being a major team in the world of rugby, but it's the community spirit of the people of St Helens which I'm most proud. During these unprecedented times, the impact of COVID-19 has surely impacted us on us all. We have had to live our lives in a radically different way, and perhaps it has made us all realise just how fragile our world is. However, it also reminds us what really matters: our health, our community spirit and our solidarity. We have faced the worst pandemic in a century, but we can be proud that it has brought out the very best in our community, and I for one have no doubt that the people of St Helens will come together and help their own. Of that we should all be proud. Over the last number of months, we've all been asked to stay away from those we love, from our friends, from our neighbours. I hope that my time as Mayor will be remembered as a time when people were able to get back together to enjoy each other's company and to fully enjoy the place we call home, St Helens. As mentioned previously by Linda and also by Andrew, the charity I'm going to be supporting this year is the Sankey Canal Restoration Society. It was formed in 1985 with the long-term ambition of restoring the Sankey Canal back to full navigation. With this aim in mind, the Society has worked with 3 local authorities, Alton, St Helens and Warrington, through which the canal flows, to enhance the amenity value of the whole of the Sankey Valley Park. This has been achieved through volunteer work parties, guided walks, presentations to other groups and publications, which I think everybody does get in their pigeonholes. The Society also attends local shows and waterway events in different parts of the country, spreading the word about the fascinating history of England's first industrial canal. To do all this, it takes a considerable amount of time and hard work by this group of dedicated volunteers, which I have the pleasure of being associated with. I will now give a thanks to the outgoing Mayor. Janet, Madam Mayor Janet and Tony, you have been Mayor for the last year and have carried out your duty with dignity and diligence. I can only hope I can do as good as a job, but rest assured I will do my very best for all of you and all the people of our town. Are there any other speakers? I do have Councillor Baines, Sims and Jones. Councillor Baines.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations to you. I just want to thank Janet. It's been an extraordinary year, as you've said, Mr. Mayor, and it is sad that she wasn't able to finish the year as we all would have wanted. But Janet, you did a great job representing our council and our borough through extraordinary and historic times, and I want to thank you for your excellent service and your hard work for the council and for the borough.
Thank you, Councillor Baines. Councillor Sims.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On behalf of, Janet, on behalf of my group, I would like to thank you for your tenacity shown during your extended mayoral year. You and your mayoress have just dealt with all eventualities as and when, and certainly the residents in my ward of Eccleston have really appreciated it. So very well done for a job well done. So as I say, have a rest, catch up with the ironing, and thank you again, and congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Sims. Councillor Jones.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations to you. Councillor Johnson has been a good mayor for 18 months, not a year. She's come into this job, and it seems a long time ago since we welcomed her in. She has done sterling work. She's visited my ward on a couple of occasions and so on. And in the latter part of the mayoral term, it has been very, very, very difficult. So what I want to say, Janet, is thank you very much for the hard work that you've put in. You will be remembered for the length of service you put in as mayor, and we wish you and Tony all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Jones. Councillor Johnson.
Hi everyone. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you who have helped me during my time as mayor, including the staff of Democratic Services, especially Joanne and Sue. The mayor's attendants, Dave, David, Lewis and Tim. My consort, Anthony, and my mayoress, Sally, who have all been a great help. I would like to thank my sons and their partners for their help and understanding during my time as mayor. We are all looking forward to a new addition to the family early in 2021, when Anthony and I will become grandparents for the first time. The year started off well, with many great events in St Helens and the surrounding areas, but unfortunately, those events were cut short with the advent of the COVID-19 lockdown. In normal circumstances, the last 3 months of the mayoral year are very busy, but all those events were cancelled, and we have been unable to host many events planned for myself, including the mayoral ball and other planned fundraising events. This has led to me not being able to raise as much money as I had hoped for my charity. But I'm sure the 2,000 we did raise will be well spent. I have enjoyed my time as mayor, even though the active role is being cut short of a normal year. Having the opportunity to meet so many of the people of St Helens has made me proud as to how talented and hard-working our residents are, many overcoming great challenges to succeed, but always with a big smile on their faces. The biggest smiles of all came from our children, who I know certainly helped to put a big smile on the mayoress's face. It is with sadness that I now step down, robbed by COVID of a large part of my year. I hope the new mayor has the opportunity to enjoy some activities, but with lockdown once again looming, the signs are not good. I wish Councillor McQuaid and his wife Lorraine my best for their time as mayor and mayoress. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. I now call upon Councillor Johnson to propose the appointment of the Deputy Mayor.
I move that Councillor Jimmy Jackson be appointed Deputy Mayor for 2020-2021.
Thank you. I now call upon Councillor Pat Jackson to second the appointment of the Deputy Mayor.
I second the appointment, Mr. Mayor.
Madam, well, it's not Mayor.
Yes.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded that Councillor Jimmy Jackson be appointed as Deputy Mayor of St Helens Borough. Will all those in favour please say?
Aye.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Agreed. Agreed.
Agreed. Agreed.
Are there any Are there any against? Are there any abstentions? I declare that Councillor Jimmy Jackson be appointed Deputy Mayor of St Helens Borough.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Now for the declaration of acceptance of office. I, Councillor Jimmy Jackson.
I, Councillor Jimmy Jackson.
Having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor.
Having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor.
Of the Metropolitan Borough of St Helens.
Of the Metropolitan Borough of St Helens.
Declare that I take that office upon myself.
Declare that I take that office upon myself.
And will duly and faithfully.
And will duly and faithfully.
Fulfil the duties of it.
Fulfil the duties of it.
According to the best of my judgment and ability.
According to the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you.
I would now like to proceed with the general business on the summons. Item 4. Are there any apologies for absence today?
No apologies have been received, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Item 5. The Constitution requires that I should invite any declarations of interest from members in relation to the items on the council summons. Does any member wish to declare an interest? Nope. Item 6. Minutes of the two council meetings held on the 22nd of July 2020 are before you. Is it agreed that I sign them?
Yes.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Agreed. Thank you. Item 7. The dates and times of the meetings of the council are before you. Councillor Baines.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move the dates and times of the meetings of the council as detailed.
Thank you.
I second that, Mr. Mayor.
Is that seconded? Thank you very much. Any questions or comments? All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. Item 8, constitutional issues. A report on constitutional issues is before you. Councillor Bond.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move the recommendations on pages 18 and 19 of the report.
Thank you. Is that seconded?
I second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Before we vote on the individual recommendations, are there any questions or comments? I understand Councillor Reynolds.
Yes, thank you.
Something?
Yeah, sorry. I'd like to propose an amendment to the. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to propose the following amendment standing in my name and reserve the right to speak.
Thank you. We will hear your amendment when we come to the recommendation 21.3.
Thank you.
21.1. To note that Councillor Baines remains Cabinet Leader All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
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 Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say.
Councillor Jones abstention.
Councillor Reynolds, abstention.
Councillor Greaves, abstention.
Councillor Mussell, abstention.
Councillor Sims, abstention.
Councillor Howard, abstention.
Councillor Smith, abstention.
Councillor Pearl, abstention.
Councillor Hoare, abstention.
Councillor Tasker, abstention.
Councillor Vandenberg, abstention.
Councillor O'Keefe, abstention.
Thank you. I declare the motion carried. Two 1.2. To note the appointments and delegations made by the Cabinet Leader in relation to the executive functions. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
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 Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say.
Councillor Jones, abstention.
Councillor Mussell, abstention.
Councillor Reynolds, abstention.
Councillor Sims, abstention.
Councillor Smith, abstention.
Councillor Pearl, abstention.
Councillor Howard, abstention.
Councillor Tasker, abstention.
Councillor Greaves, abstention.
Councillor O'Keefe, abstention.
Councillor Vandenberg, abstention.
Councillor Hall, abstention.
Thank you. I declare the motion carried. 2.1.3. To approve the amended overview and scrutiny procedure rules, including revised terms of reference for the overview and scrutiny commission and scrutiny committees. Councillor Reynolds has an amendment to this recommendation. Councillor Reynolds.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to propose the following amendment to item 8, recommendation 2.13, standing in my name and reserve the right to speak.
Thank you, Councillor Reynolds. Would you like to read the amendment?
Yes, certainly. Sorry. To section 4, subsection C, chairs of the overview and scrutiny committees will be drawn from members of the relevant committee. No member, however, may be appointed as chair of an overview and scrutiny committee if their spouse, civil partner, a person who they are living with as a spouse or civil partner, sibling, son or daughter, is a cabinet member or portfolio holder for which the relevant scrutiny committee will be scrutinising decisions relating to that portfolio or department. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Reynolds. Is there a seconder for that amendment, please?
Councillor Jones, I will second that motion set down by Councillor Reynolds. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Jones. Are there any questions or comments? Okay, so I have Councillor Fulham and Councillor Bond. Councillor Bond, would you like to speak first?
Mr. Mayor, I proposed this, so I'd like to respond at the end if that's in order.
That's not a problem. Councillor Fulham, I think I've still got you, yeah?
Hi, Mr. Mayor. Am I live?
You are.
Hi, thanks very much, sir. I think it's quite an interesting amendment, and I think Councillor Reynolds clearly has quite an interest, quite an insight into these matters, as he's proposed changes to scrutiny arrangements in the past, and not always in the right location and the right venue or on the right timeline. But his amendments in the past have been incorporated into changes that are coming through with these proposals in this report. So yeah, I do appreciate the time and the thought he's given to it. I just wish that we had a bit more notice of what his proposals were. We got an email earlier today saying this is what he wanted to do, and there might be some considerable merit in it, but I think we need, considering how small the council is and how few people attend, how few people are on scrutiny, I think we need just a bit more time to model the implications of this, and perhaps we can think about it for next council or council thereafter. Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Fulham. Councillor Bond.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I got notice of this last night, and thanks to the officer who was able to look at it, and Councillor Reynolds has kindly amended the original version that came through last night. If there is anything that removes any perception of any conflict of interest, that it probably is incumbent on us to take that seriously. And whilst there's no accusation of any conflicts of interest, I'm sure in Councillor Reynolds' motivation in this to remove the perception of it, I think is no bad thing. And I'd take what Councillor Fulham says about this not being a particularly large place. I mentioned last night the fact that we need to define what relationships will potentially give rise to this, and Councillor Reynolds has done that, and I'm grateful to that. And I have no objection to the recommendation for Councillor Reynolds for the amendment.
Good.
Thank you, Councillor Bond. All those in favour on the amendment, please say.
Agreed.
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 Are there any against the amendment? Please say. And are there any abstentions on the amendment? Please say. I declare the amendment carried. Thank you very much. 2.1.4 to approve the amended terms of reference for Audit and Governance Committee. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed. 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 Agreed.
Any against, please say. And any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. 2.1.5 to note the amended terms of reference for People's Board approved by urgent decision. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. 2.1.6 to approve the changes and additions to various articles in the Constitution, namely election and terms of councillors, the process for maintaining the register of members' interests, the right of the public and press to record meetings, scrutiny and joint arrangements. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed. Agreed.
Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. 217. To approve the change to the financial value in the definition of key decision from £250,000 to £500,000 and related change to the definition of delegated executive decisions. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
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 Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. 218. To approve the change to the financial value in the definition of administrative decisions from £100,000 to £200,000. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
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 Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. 21.9. To approve the changes to the officer employment procedure rules. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. 2110. To approve the redrafted contract procedure rules. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. 2.2. To authorise the monitoring officer to amend the constitution so that it accords with the decisions of council in this regard. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. 2.3. To authorise the commencement of recruitment process for an independent person for the co-option by the council to the Audit and Governance Committee for a fixed term of 3 years. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. 2.4. Agree to consult the council's independent remuneration panel with regard to the creation of a new special responsibility allowance for the chair of Audit and Governance Committee for further consideration by the council. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. Item 9. The report on the allocation of seats on the committees 2020 to 2021 is before you. Nominations have been received for the chairmanships of the following: Planning Committee, Councillor Derek Long. Licensing and Environmental Protection Committee, Councillor Banks. And Audit and Governance Committee, Councillor Bond. Are there any other nominations? Councillor Baines.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move the recommendations on page 84 of the report.
Thank you, Councillor Baines. Is that seconded?
I second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Before we vote on the individual recommendations, are there any questions or comments? No. Recommendation 1. In order to comply with the Section 15 of Local Government and Housing Act 1989, agree the allocation of seats on committees as detailed in 4.5 of the report. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. Recommendation 2. In order to comply with Section 16 of Local Government and Housing Act 1989, agree the appointments to the seat on committees in line with the wishes of the groups as detailed in 4.10 of the report. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. Recommendation 3. Agree that the Sarah Cowley Committee comprises of 10 councillors and the seats be allocated as proposed in paragraph 4.10 of the report. All those in favour?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. And any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. Recommendation 4. Agree the number of elected members and appointments to the People's Board as detailed in 4.12 of the report. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. Recommendation 5. Agree the appointments as chairs as follows. Planning Committee, Councillor Derek Long. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Any against, please say.
Councillor Jones against.
Councillor Sims against.
Councillor Mussell.
Councillor against.
Councillor Mussell against.
Councillor Reynolds against.
Councillor Smith against.
Are there any abstentions, please? I declare the motion carried. Licensing and Environmental Protection Committee, Councillor Banks. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please. I declare the motion carried. Audit and Governance Committee, Councillor Bond as an interim nomination as detailed in the report. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Agreed. Agreed.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. And any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. Item 10. The report on appointments to City Region Joint Authorities 2020 to 2021 is before you. Councillor Bond.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move the recommendations on page 95 of the report.
Thank you, Councillor Bond. Is that seconded?
I second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Before we vote on the individual recommendations, are there any questions or comments? City Region Combined Authority. Councillor Baines, Councillor Gomez Aspron as substitute. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
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 Any against, please say. And any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. Combined Authority Overview and Scrutiny Committee. Councillors Jimmy Jackson, Sweeney and Wiseman. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
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 Any against? Sorry, was that any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. Combined Authority Transport Committee. Councillors Murphy, Pearson, Uddin and Jones. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. And any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. Combined Authority Housing and Spatial Planning Board. Councillor Macaulay. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
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 I declare the motion carried. Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority. Councillors Maloney, MBE and Lisa Preston. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. Merseyside Police and Crime Panel. Councillors Attersley and Lynch. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
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 Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. Merseyside Recycling and Waste Authority. Councillor Charlie Preston. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. 2.1b. That delegation is granted to the Chief Executive in consultation with leaders of the political groups to make any necessary changes throughout the period 2020/21. All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
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 Any against, please say. And any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. Item 11. A report on appointments to the outside and other bodies 2020 and 2021 is before you. Councillor Bond.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just before I move the recommendation, congratulations on your stewardship of this meeting in difficult circumstances. And this is the final recommendation, and I move the recommendations on page 100 of the report.
Thank you, Councillor Bond. Is that seconded?
I second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Baines. Are there any questions and comments? All those in favour, please say.
Agreed.
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 Any against, please say. Any abstentions, please say. I declare the motion carried. That concludes the business for the annual council meeting. Thank you very much for your attendance.